I first met a research scientist who's also an adventurer when I was in high school. He came in for one of those career days and gave a presentation about his research, and I realized how exciting it was that he got to spend his time scuba diving in Antarctica, and told him that's what I wanted to do, or something like that. And he invited me into his lab and put me to work for a few weeks so I could see what he was doing. While in undergrad, I had several different jobs studying salamanders, working in labs with flies, basically pestering professors by knocking on the doors and telling them I wanted to learn as much as I can, and I wanted to work in science, and they gave me jobs. Honestly, in some ways, I'm kind of shocking myself every time I think this or realize this, but I am doing exactly what I want to be doing with my life right now. I actually finished my undergraduate degree in 2001, and I took 6 years off before coming back to grad school. And during that time, I traveled a lot. I spent time doing things like snowboarding. I worked multiple different internships, had some great jobs, worked a little bit at a real job. I shouldn't say that. A job in the for-profit world. And then I came back to school because I realized I needed to do something else to make myself really happy, and I am doing exactly what I want to do. I am living where I want to be living. I'm thinking about the things I want to think about. I'm spending my days doing the things I want to spend my days doing. There's so many kinds of careers that you can get into doing this kind of work. You can go into academia, you can work for a nonprofit, you could work for the government. There's lots of positions doing monitoring work, developing protocols, actually out in the field doing research. Some of them bring you into the lab. There's also jobs doing public policy in Washington. You can go in so many different directions. Right now, I'm in school for another few years, and then I see myself staying in academia, at least for a while. I am honestly developing this project as a lifetime project. I expect to be continuing this kind of work for a long time, and I really hope to specifically continue working in this habitat. I want to work at the up in the subalpine, alpine ecosystems, looking at biodiversity and how it's changing as a result of global climate change. If I was a high school student and I really wanted to get involved with this kind of work, or thought I might want to get involved, I would do a couple of things. I would definitely volunteer. I would find people doing this kind of work wherever you are. I would call grad students or professors or nonprofit people or whoever does this kind of work and call up or email them and say that you really want to volunteer, and then go out, get your hands dirty, and see if that's what you really like doing. I'd also read as much as possible. If you're really interested in the kinds of questions that I look at, or people who do this kind of research look at, read about those questions, see if it really interests you or if you get bored by them. I'd also get involved in citizen science projects. You don't necessarily have to go spend a whole day volunteering if you don't have time. You can do things like eBird, or you can get involved in just other citizen science projects where you can contribute a little bit of data in your spare time, and it makes a big difference.